to talk to you a little bit about what is included in Exam 1. So I'm going to go through the exam with reading out, looking at the screen, what the parts are. So here's D2L. This is where you can find Exam 1, which is in Module 4. So you'll come to Module 4, and then you'll see the Word file for Exam 1 is here, and the .sav file for SPSS is here. And then above here is the Dropbox, where you'll submit your final Word document or PDF when you're finished with the exam. So here's the exam Word document. You'll notice it's worth 100 total points for this exam. Make sure you read all of the instructions here, complete all of the questions, each of the parts, and show your work if possible. So for example, down here in part 1, this is multiple choice. There's 30 questions and they're each 1 point. So what you'll want to do is type in your answers into this table. So maybe this one's A, and then this next one's B. So that's what you'll do. If you're concerned that your answer may or may not be correct, you'll want to put in a little asterisk next to this, like I have for number 3 here. And then you will write a comment about why you chose your answer, or maybe your rationale for choosing that answer. And again, please use this table up here to answer the questions. Feel free to highlight or to change the color down here for yourself, but make sure you put them up here. If they're not in this table, I will not accept it. And they'll be all marked incomplete. So there are 30 questions you can see here. This is the first section of the exam. There's a total of 30 questions. Next, we'll move on to part 2, which is short answer. This section is worth a total of 21 points. So the first question is about reviewing this table here, the comparison of the emergency treatment received by women with unsafe abortions as well as women with spontaneous abortions. And this is worth a total of 10 points. So you'll answer these questions based on this table up here. Then number 2 and number 3 are both probability-based questions, and for each of these, the different parts A through F for 2 and A through D for 3 are worth 1 point each. So you'll answer these questions. You can refer to Module 2 section on probability if you need help with these. Next is part 3. You're going to create your own survey questions or questionnaire. So what you'll do is you'll use the general topic here, that's worth 1 point, and use this scale of measurement specified, and create a survey question. So if the question requires response options, like these nominal and ordinal scales do, make sure you include those response options as well, and we'll be looking for that. And that's worth the other 2 points of the question. So then this one will be about childhood obesity in an ordinal scale of measurement, and the third one will be about healthcare services administration or management, and that'll be with a continuous scale of measurement. So this last section, part 4, is on SPSS. So you'll use the exam 1 dig.sav file, which is on D2L. Here's a little description about the study, and then here's the code book. So what you're going to do here is you're going to look at these values or units of measurement after you look at the variable name, and you're going to make a decision if it's nominal, ordinal, or continuous. So that you'll put in this blue column here. And we'll refer to this in a moment below. So this is what you'll be recoding. Each of these variable types is worth 1 point, so this total section is worth 10 points. Next, I'm going to have you summarize the sample characteristics. So part A is creating a table 1 with the descriptive characteristics. So this will summarize using the mean and standard deviation as well as the number and percent based on the variable type. And that will be by total sample as well as by vital status. The recodes are listed above. Use the recode into different variables function so you don't lose the original variables, and be sure you check the accuracy of your newly recoded variables. So after doing the recodes, you'll want to run the frequencies for all the variables, based on the total sample, and you'll put those values into this second column here. Then you're going to run the frequencies on all of the variables for those who are alive as well as for those who are dead. So what you'll do is use either the select cases or the split file option, and you'll put those values in these two columns. Some important notes: make sure your table is APA style format, including column headings, appropriate bordering for the different lines, and this is in Module 3, so you can refer to that. There's a PDF in there. And make sure you include a table title. That's one full point. And finally, make sure you round the means, standard deviations, and percentages to either 1 or 2 decimal places. Either is fine with me. I won't take off points as long as all of your values are rounded to the same number of decimal places. So here's a sample of what the table could look like. What you'll do is put a table title in, you'll put in the number in each of these categories, and then in these areas you'll put in the mean and standard deviation or the number and percent. That again is based on the variable type. If it's nominal or ordinal, you'll use the number and percent. If it's a continuous variable, you will use the mean and standard deviation. And note this table is using the recoded variables. And then after doing the total sample, you'll do the same thing for alive and dead. Notice over here we don't have alive and dead in these rows. Since you're reporting the number up here and all of the characteristics underneath them, you do not need to report them in the rows over here. For this last question, you'll want to write up a 5 to 7 sentence description of this table up here. It should include these 3 things: a topic sentence, an overall summary of this first row of the total sample. It should include all of these values in it at some point. And then finally a comparison of those values that are seemingly different between alive and dead for the final summary. Please only write those that appear to be different, and don't restate each and every number in your description. If you have any questions, feel free to post to the discussion board, send an email, or use the Remind text messaging system. I encourage you to work with your classmates as long as everything is in your own words. If you send an email or use the Remind text message system and I think it's something that's important for the whole class to understand, I will tell you that I'm posting your answer on the discussion board instead of sending you an email response. So I encourage you to check the discussion board regularly. I wish you the best of luck on this exam.